Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Rory McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. Pray for martyrs of our day. Those were the words of Pope Francis in his prayer intention for March that was released on Tuesday. Introducing his prayer intention, the Pope shared a story told by a widower Muslim who recounted the martyrdom of his Christian wife as she confronted terrorists. Pope Francis said the story is a reflection of the Church today. The intention was released in the Pope video, which the Pope's Worldwide Prayer Network created in collaboration with the Papal Foundation, Aid to the Church in Need. The Pope said there will always be martyrs among us, which is a sign that we are on the right path. He also emphasised that the courage and witness of martyrs is a blessing for everyone. Ukrainian President Volodomyr Zelenskyy aimed at bolstering efforts for a peace plan and the release of prisoners of war from Russia during a recent visit to Saudi Arabia. Mr. Zelenskyy, who is hopeful for Saudi support, presented a 10-point peace formula, including the expulsion of Russian forces from Ukraine and accountability for war crimes. However, such proposals face strong opposition from Moscow. Mr. Zelenskyy also highlighted the importance of economic cooperation during his visit. Meanwhile, concerns are rising over French President Emmanuel Macron's suggestion of potential European ground troop deployment in Ukraine, with Vatican Secretary of State Cardinal Parolin expressing apprehension over the escalation of conflict it may bring. Cardinal Parolin stressed the necessity of dialogue to find a solution to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. He criticised the prioritisation of profit over human welfare, highlighting its detrimental effects on society. On Tuesday, the World Food Programme's Deputy Executive Director Karl Skau warned that a famine is imminent in northern Gaza if nothing changes. The head of the UN's Humanitarian Affairs, Ramesh Rajasingham, commented that nearly 1/4 of Gaza's population is a step away from famine, with 1 in 6 children under 2 years of age in northern Gaza suffering from acute malnutrition and wasting. He reiterated the call for a ceasefire in Gaza. Moreover, the Deputy Director General of the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, Maurizio Martina, said 97% of Gaza's groundwater is unfit for human consumption. According to the World Health Organization, all planned aid convoys into the north have been denied by Israeli authorities in recent weeks, with the last being allowed in on January the 23rd. Irish bishops have voiced worries about proposed constitutional reforms that could adversely affect family and care in Ireland. The family and care referendums, set for March the 8th, will allow Irish residents to vote on revisions to Article 41 of the Irish Constitution. The bishops expressed concern that the proposed amendments would weaken the role of marriage as the core of family bonds and emphasised that the Constitution should continue to cherish the role of mothers. The bishops are especially concerned that the proposed revisions will eliminate all references to motherhood from the Constitution, failing to recognise women's essential social contributions. They further underlined the significance of upholding women's roles and preserving family and societal stability. The Tennessee House has voted by 70 to 24 to restrict the display of LGBTQ flags in public school classrooms. The bill, which is now moving to the Senate, has provoked heated debate and protests. To enforce the prohibition, parents or guardians may file lawsuits. At the same time, the measure permits the display of certain flags, such as the flag of the United States and the state of Tennessee. The Senate may yet restrict who may sue over flags. Meanwhile, the American Civil Liberties Union contended that the measure violates free expression rights. Cardinal Burke has announced a worldwide novena to Our Lady of Guadalupe, calling on Catholics to seek Marian intercession amid the crises faced by this age. The 9-month novena will begin in March and end on December the 12th. Drawing similarities between present-day problems and those of 1531, the year Our Lady appeared to St. Juan Diego, he underlined the need for spiritual answers, highlighting the plight of the contemporary world going through disease, war and deep spiritual confusion, where many souls have lost hope. The Cardinal invited the faithful around the world to pray and ponder, seeking Mary's abiding maternal love. Participants may sign up for monthly meditations and prayers, culminating in a consecration on the feast day. A national political advisor has suggested China scrap its birth limit completely to boost the country's birth rate. Zhang Shuilong, who is a senior official, has suggested removing restrictions on the number of children residents can have and restoring families' right to have children. He has also urged local governments to provide financial assistance to families with multiple children. Similarly, Japan has experienced a comparable demographic decline. The number of newborns in Japan dropped for the 8th consecutive year to a new record low in 2023, highlighting the significant challenge the country faces in addressing depopulation. The Japanese government has announced unprecedented measures to combat the declining birth rate, including expanding childcare services and advocating for salary increases for younger employees. Father Felice Palamara, belonging to the Vibo Valentia province of Italy, has narrowly escaped a murder attempt reportedly operated by a Calabrian mafia outfit called 'Ndrangheta. While celebrating an evening mass on February the 24th, Father Palamara, a parish priest in Cesaniti, detected a strange smell coming out of the chalice. Sensing danger, he at once stopped the liturgical celebration and reported the matter to police. Laboratory analysis later confirmed the presence of bleach in the liturgical vessels. In an earlier attempt, the priest's car was damaged by some unidentified vandals. Furthermore, Father Francesco Pontoriero, belonging to the same diocese, had also recently received explicit death threats. It is suspected that the two priests were likely targeted by the 'Ndrangheta because of their constant commitment to the rule of law and their fight against the mafia. On Monday, more than two-thirds of the United Nations Security Council's members called on the Taliban to revoke all policies and decrees that oppress and discriminate against women and girls. This includes measures such as prohibiting girls' education beyond the 6th grade and restricting women's rights to work and move freely. The statement, endorsed by 11 out of the 15 council members, condemned the Taliban's repression of women and girls since assuming power in August 2021. It reiterated the importance of their equal participation in all aspects of public, political, economic, cultural and social life, especially in decision-making processes. The statement said, sustainable peace in Afghanistan can only be achieved through an inclusive political process and by respecting the human rights of all Afghans. Notably, 4 Security Council nations, Russia, China, Mozambique and Algeria, did not endorse the statement. As an extended celebration of the Day of the Unborn Child, which falls on March the 25th, the pro-life youth network of Peru and the secular group Marchemos por las dos vidas have organised a series of activities in the month of March under the motto Month for Life. The main event, Caravan for Life, which aims to defend the unborn child, is scheduled for March the 16th. The rally will begin at 3 p.m. on the Avenida de la Peruanidad in Campo de Marte in the Jesus Maria district in Lima. Various public events will be held on every Saturday in March, including a praying of the Rosary for the unborn and a pro-life walk. There will also be weekly events comprising talks by experts on family-related subjects. Tribal leaders in the Indian state of Manipur have accused state authorities of cutting food supplies to state-run relief camps that shelter over 17,000 people, mostly Christians, displaced by ethnic conflict. They have also pleaded for immediate federal intervention to save these people from starvation. In a complaint raised on February the 26th, the Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum stated that the Deputy Commissioner of Churachandpur district has refused to supply food to relief camps since February the 16th, following a public protest the previous night over the suspension of a tribal policeman. Churachandpur district is dominated by the indigenous Kuki-Zo people, most of whom are Christians. Over 50,000 people were displaced and 200 killed in Manipur following ethnic violence that erupted in May 2023. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us again next time for more. And do remember, in the meantime, you can always visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.